Hey, today on Free Field Training, we are doing our monthly police equipment giveaway. I'm doing it on YouTube for the drawing of last month's giveaway and doing our giveaway for this month. And on Instagram, we've got a special prize just for people who are going on the Instagram live stream right now. So if you don't already, check down the links in the description. Follow me on Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit that notification bell because that is how you get notifications for this stuff and you get to win cool police equipment for right now, once a month, as long as people keep sending me stuff. Also, directly after that, if you're watching me on YouTube, go over to Instagram. Within 45 minutes to an hour of ending this, I'm going to be doing another video live on Instagram on the book from Xavier Wells called Expert Witness. We're going to be talking about giving a good, solid description of people, and that's going to be a video that's later going to be up on YouTube, but you get to see me screw up trying to say things properly that will later be edited out and burping and all of that. If you follow me over on Instagram, also you get to be part of that conversation on Instagram. So it's Tommy_Free Field Training over on Instagram. When we're done with YouTube video, if you're watching on YouTube, head on over there, follow me, make sure you turn the notifications on so that way you can be part of that conversation. So last month's police equipment giveaway, we're going to do the drawing for it right now. Once again, have my box of stuff. And let's pick a name out of here. The winner is Finger Cuts. Where's the camera there? Finger Cuts. I'm going to hold that to the side so we can try to get in contact with him. For some reason, I have a whole bunch of shield boxes still sitting in the corner of my garage because people don't like to answer emails. Isn't that exciting? This month's giveaway, and before we get too far into it, we've got a Shieldbox, and we've got a whole bunch of stuff from Olight. Actually, I've got one light from Olight that we are going to be giving away over on the Instagram live stream as we do this, and the Shieldbox is going to be given away live on YouTube here. So Olight has a flash sale, and of course, something's got to pay the bills, so we're putting this stuff for their flash sale. The link for it is down in the description. I think it's starting the 22nd at some time. All that's down there. There's an affiliate link and coupon code. If you use the affiliate link and the coupon code, you get 10% off, and I make a small commission. Everybody wins. So full disclosure on that. The flash sale is for a pen that has a light in it. Interesting. And a lantern, which has nothing to do with police equipment. But also the i5T EOS in like a battleship gray type of color. So I figure you guys would like that. That's going to be our giveaway over on Instagram here in a second. But the Shieldbox is going to be our giveaway on YouTube. So we're going to pop that open. And then we're going to do the Instagram giveaway. And then we're going to give this away because next month is November. And I have no idea what the world's going to look like or whether I'm going to be able to ship things. So I want to get as much stuff that people win shipped out as early as possible. So I'm not trying to do it the first week of November when I will, in all likelihood, be on 12-hour shifts again with no days off. It's fun stuff. So let's pop open this month's Shieldbox here. I have had people ask recently if I am doxing myself every time I show the labels of these on YouTube or Instagram. And this is a UPS mailbox that I use. So I guess if you really wanted to stalk me, yes, you could take that address and watch it for about a month straight, and maybe you would see me show up there, but it's not my house, so don't worry about it. So let's pop this bad boy open and see what they have. Obviously, a Shieldbox, there's a link down there, and a coupon code. Again, you save a little money, and I make a little money if you use that code. You don't want to, that's fine too. This month we have, and they don't tell me what's coming in these things. So we kind of get what we get and we don't throw a fit, as I tell my kids. So we get the Guardian dual fuel flashlight from Asp. That's kind of cool. I've got a new video from Asp. Oh, there it is. They rubber banded them together. It confused me. I was like, they forgot the flashlight. So it's a AA like a backup light. I may have to break this open before I ship it out and do a quick video with it. I've got another video with Asp XDDF. Where's that at? Hold on. Got a brand new one of those. Still waiting in the box. Asp sent that to me to do a video of. We ran it over with the car and stuff over on Instagram. You can see on the live stream. The YouTube video for that should be out this upcoming Saturday. Good stuff. Asp makes pretty good lights. I had not had prior interactions with their lights. There's going to be a link to Asp's website down there as well. Same deal with the you saving money, me making money type of thing, if you're interested. So that is the flashlight that Asp is sending out. This is what you win in the Shieldbox. It says it's a 430 lumen single AA flashlight that runs for 1 hour. We'll break it open here after I look through the rest of the box so we can play with it a little bit. And then they have, it says it's the Guardian TLC. It looks like one of their scabbards for this light. So that's already a pretty good combo. That's, what does it say? They say the light is $59.99 and the scabbard is $25.50. Shieldbox costs a little over $50 a month, so already you've more than made your money back on something that you might actually use. What else is in here? A rapid access tourniquet holder from Coyote Tactical Solutions. Let's pop that open there. It looks like it's elastic and Velcro based. We all know how much I love things that are elastic and Velcro based. So it's like an elastic loop with hook side Velcro on one side and loop side Velcro on the other. Looks like something you might attach onto a concealable vest. Maybe that's what's going on there. In fact, I think that's entirely likely that's what's going on there. So you have your uniform shirt, concealable vest, keep the tourniquet on your concealable vest with your uniform shirt over it. Interesting. Put that back in the bag so I don't lose it or destroy it. There's a blood type patches from 511 and a no penicillin patch in here too, and a no known drug allergies patches. So there it is. It's got all your blood types in there. And there is a blue line vinyl sticker for what that's worth. Something to throw up on your whiteboard at home or your clipboard, or your attach it to your coffee cup or something. And of course, there's everyone's favorite thing that comes in Shieldbox, a whole bunch of blue squiggly paper. Let's cut some stuff open. We'll see if Asp's flashlight makes the standard of, if it's more difficult to use than a soda machine, you shouldn't be selling it to the public. Also, we're going to see if it works straight out of the box. Sometimes these things need charging. Hopefully not this one. So this looks like it's your charger for it. How does it charge? It's just a normal USB. I don't know how that's supposed to charge. I'm going to be honest with you. We may have to actually read instructions on this. All right. Is this supposed to be a charger, or are you supposed to be able to run it off of it? Because it looks like it runs on it. All right. So it's a lithium-ion rechargeable. Not sure. Or AA. So that's pretty cool. A dual fuel that can also use a AA. Yeah, I might have to read the instructions. I hate doing that. So it looks like it's a Asp's tap system. So like you tap it on and you get full blast, and then you double tap and you get a lower. Let's take a look at it. Pretty bright, even in a lit room. There's your secondary. Ooh, and you get stickers. Let's see. So you charge it. Okay, you charge it by taking this little doohickey out of here and unscrewing the light head. Ah. And then you plug the USB into the threads. So you unscrew the light head and it opens a USB port. And then you plug this into a USB outlet, which I just happen to have one of here running my phone. I'm going to try to do this without knocking it all over. And apparently that's how it charges. I think I'm going to stop screwing with it before I break it. But that's how it charges. That's pretty cool. I imagine any USB would work for that, and that's what most people are going to use, is they're just going to plug a USB into there and charge the light up. But this you could keep in your pocket or attach to a keychain, so that's interesting. And then I'm probably missing stuff. I'm sorry. Everybody gets pissed at me for missing features on flashlights, but realistically, how many of us are really using anything other than full blast and slightly less full blast to look under car seats? Normally, their flashlight holders are bezeled down, so we're going to just pretend like it's that without reading the instructions. So here's your light. And yeah, it looks like it goes in bezel down. Let me see. I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh, there it goes. So it pops in bezel down. And it rotates just like their larger light. If you followed me over on Instagram for the video about doing these flashlights, you probably saw this. I think I've shown this to people already. And then the little adjuster Allen head is in there. And these are actually pretty interesting. This doesn't look like it would fit on a duty belt, unfortunately. They have a little slider system. So you pop this open, and I think this one is also small enough to fit through MOLLE webbing. So you just kind of slide it through MOLLE. Correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments. And then there's a little slider in here that you can adjust for different belt heights. So if you're using a particularly small belt, like a 1-inch or 1.25-inch belt, you can slide this in. Or if you have a 1.5-inch belt, there's a slot for it. And it looks like it's set up for a 1 3/4-inch belt. So you just put your slider where you want it and then lock it on, so you don't have to buy different pouches for different size belts. This one works for all of them. And then if you're directing traffic or something, you can click and lock this on and use it to hold the light while you're doing things on your belt, or point it just straight down so that way it lights up the ground under you and people don't run you over as easy. So I guess I should say it also has a click-on feature. It's not that it's not that different than the i5T EOS that we're going to be giving away on the Instagram live stream here in a minute, except that this one is rechargeable and comes with a cool pouch instead of a pocket clip. So they're pretty cool backup light, I'll tell you that much. We'll throw all this junk away. Put that back in the box. So what else do you guys want to see? So these are pretty self-explanatory. This is kind of self-explanatory. I don't have a concealable vest to attach this to show you what I'm talking about, but I think everybody gets the idea. The Olight pen flashlight thing is interesting. So you like push the button on the top multiple times to get different light outputs. And it didn't even come with a box, so this might be a pre-production thing that they sent me. And then it's got like a little bolt action slider McGiggy thing on the side, and then your pen comes out. And of course they had to make that little end blue and the middle thing blue. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Might do it in an upcoming giveaway, or my wife might steal it. And then the Olantern, it's 360 lumens. It doesn't say much on the outside of the box. Probably rechargeable. Let's find out. It's not police equipment, but as long as I've got a captive audience. All right. All right, that explains more. So I'm not going to read the instructions as per my normal way of doing things. Looks like it recharges through your normal Olight. Snap it on there, and it magnet mounts on the bottom connection. And it looks like we've got a push button. I'm sure they locked it out for shipping. Watch me break it. Please long press to unlock before use. Okay. Long press. Ah, there it goes. They always have some sort of locking mechanism so they don't come out of the box. So it looks like it recharges through the bottom. Okay, it's bright. And then it gets brighter. All right. We've done enough with that. So we're going to see if anybody has any questions, and then we're going to give our giveaways. So, finger cuts. Make sure you send me an email. Everybody else, we're going to do the giveaways here really quick. Let's see if we have any questions on the YouTube about what we're looking at. So instead of scrolling all the way through, if you have any questions about the things that I looked at, the flashlights or the knife I used to open the box with or whatever else, put those on there now so that I can accomplish answering those questions, and then we'll do the giveaway. No one is asking anything about the products there on... Oh, we'll get to non-related questions here in a second. We're having a lot of people asking if they can ask non-police equipment related questions. We totally do that after we do the giveaway. I'm happy to stick around and wrap with you guys. How do we get in the giveaway? We're going to answer that here in a second. How heavy is the lantern? Could you hang it from the top of a tent, is being asked on Instagram. Yeah, it's not that big. It's not that heavy. It's maybe a pound. You know, like nothing you couldn't hang by your pinky finger, so I figure you could probably hang this up in a tent. That's an odd question with a bunch of police gear. You'd be like, hey, what about that lantern? But there it is. How many luminaries? Okay, so the ASP light... Let's find it. How many lumens is the light? That's for the pouch. The light says it's 400. Sorry, we disconnected there for a second on the YouTube. So the ASP light, it says it's 430 lumens. This didn't come with any paperwork, so I have no idea. The lantern says it's 360 lumens. And the i5T EOS, I have enough of them I should know off the top of my head. But it does not say on the outside. We can open it up and find out. Please leave any other questions you have in there so we have something to talk about. Let's find out. How many lumens is an i5T EOS? 300 lumens at max for the i5T. So there you have it. They're all pretty bright, and that's kind of the long and short of most flashlights these days. I haven't gotten very many in a very long time that haven't been ridiculously unnecessarily bright. So you should be happy. Timothy Branter says, how much is the Shieldbox worth? It says $110.97. So we'll put that right up there so you guys can frame that if you want on YouTube. You can also check these and see if that's actually what it's worth. Throw that down in the comments when the video's over. Zachary Shield says, later got to go back to work. Sorry about that. Name of the light with the holster. That's ASP's Garda AA. That's the flashlight. And that's the holster. Is the Olight i5T rechargeable? No, it's not. Does the ASP light strobe? Let's find out. I have no idea. Now you're actually making me read the instructions. And someone's going to be pissed when I get it wrong. Don't look directly into the light. Good advice. does not say. At least I don't see it right off the top. Normally, if they strobe, they're like, oh, it has this, and it strobes. This appears to just be a double tap. It says 2 double tap. It just seems to be high and a low setting, with the high setting being 430 ridiculously bright lumens. It's also water resistant and drop resistant, and shines a light to 80 meters and runs for an hour. All right, so we're going to do the giveaways. This month, it's the Shieldbox for this month is going to be on YouTube. So whoever gets the answer right is going to get the ASP flashlight with the holster, the little patches, the tourniquet holder, the blue line flags sticker, and the explanation of what's in the Shieldbox on YouTube. And whoever wins it on Instagram is going to get the Battleship Gray looking i5 TEO. So I'm probably using the wrong color, but it's kind of Battleship Gray. And who's going to win it is you have to win. Your mailing address has to be inside the United States. I don't care if you live in Canada, but I'm not mailing this to Canada because it's going to cost me like $50 to send a box to Canada, and it's just not worth it. I'm sorry, all of my Canadian friends. You have somebody you want me to ship it to in the U.S. who can ship it to you? That's great. You got a P.O. box in the States, and you're going to drive across the border and get it? That's fine. I don't care. But the mailing address for this has got to be inside the continental United States, right? Because it's already expensive enough to ship it there. Also, you have to be over 18 years of age, and all the stuff that I'm shipping to you has to be legal for me to send to you and you to receive. Also, now all of a sudden I have to add that if you don't contact me and we don't work out a way to ship this to you within, let's say, 2 months, I'm allowed to throw this stuff away because I'm kind of sick of keeping things that people email me once and I say, okay, which thing did you win? Or what's your address? And they never contact me back. I'm giving you stuff for free, man. You came on the live stream, pick up your free stuff because I don't want it. It's sitting in my garage, right? And I can't get rid of all of it if people don't pick it up. So the first person to answer what the book was that I mentioned at the very beginning of this stream, because I know that they immediately came on when their notifications are on, win, both on YouTube and Instagram. So put the title of the book that I held up on the stream for YouTube, you win the Shieldbox. On the screen for Instagram, you win the Shieldbox. Let's see who comes up with it first. How many people are shutting this off and then going back and trying to find it now? All right. Oh, people are getting it on YouTube. So Josh Mackey says, expert witness. Josh, email me right now at freefieldtraining@gmail.com, or go over to Instagram and instant message me, right? Like screenshot this and be like, I'm this guy. Send me a message on Instagram. Let's see who got it first. It looks like my eyes are getting bad. It looks like Booty Burgers. Booty Burgers guest expert witness. So there you have it. Booty Burgers. Send me a message. Send me an Instagram DM saying, hey, I won that flashlight. Here's my name and address. Make sure it's an address inside the continental United States. And don't ghost me so I can actually send you your stuff. I want to get this all shipped out next time I go to the mailbox so I'm not chasing people down and I don't have to do it the first week in November because, like I said, it's probably going to be silly. Okay, so now it's open time. We're 25 minutes in. If anybody has any non-related questions that they want to add or they want to ask, keep in mind, if it's about the book or about getting a description of people, we'll be doing another live stream on Instagram directly after this. So you might want to hold on to it and just go over to Instagram. going to be setting that up. I got the video camera already ready to go. I got the whiteboard going. I just got to draw some stuff and put on a polo shirt so we look really professional. And then we're going to start up another live stream. Also got to make sure this phone is charged. People are asking if I can do a raffle for the unclaimed boxes. No, I don't think I can do that. Maybe from this point forward, since I made it part of the rules. Somebody came in and said, Terry v. Ohio, hoping that was the answer. Okay, so we've got an actual question about police work. Let's see. Bluzz28 says, have you ever relieved a security guard of his duty weapon? Sure. When they get in domestics, which happens more frequently than I would have liked. If you mean like they did something silly on the job as a security guard and we had to take their gun away, no, that hasn't come up. RJ Joshua says, if qualified immunity gets taken away, will that affect your wanting to stay in law enforcement? I know I'm going to have to think about something if it goes away. So if qualified immunity, like across the board, went away, what we'd end up having to do is we'd have to find insurance companies that are going to cover financially the liability, the financial liability in civil court. So that's going to make insurance companies a lot of money. And then that's going to mean that no one's going to want to do the job unless their pay is raised. So it's going to mean that taxes are going to get raised or other programs are going to be shut down in order to pay cops more so that the insurance will be covered. And then a bunch of agencies are going to figure out that they can get everyone together and they can have one insurance policy for the group of them that the agency pays, and then they get a better rate. And then it's pretty much just not really going to change much of anything on the civil side anyway. So I know it's probably unpopular. People think that there's going to be like, I'm going to have to go get insurance and then pay that out of my pocket, but that's not how the real world works. And we already know that from seeing how all sorts of other stuff in our society works. So highly unlikely that's going to change my opinion on staying in law enforcement. Officer Airsoft says, do you think it's okay to become a police officer with just a GED? Not just a GED and some work experience, a GED and some common sense. But you might have a hard uphill battle with that. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't have opinions on police departments in areas that I haven't been at. People always ask though, what's your opinion of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department? I don't think I've ever met someone from there. So I don't know. Or the DC VA Metro Transit Police, no idea. Boy CA says, what does being tased feels like? It feels like being electrocuted because that's what it is. Scroll down and take a couple from YouTube here. Everyone's saying expert witness afterward. What do I currently think of the weather we're getting? I think it's pretty chilly, but it's not chilly enough where I need the space heater. I need a jacket, but not the space heater. Or a polo shirt, but not the space heater. So I'm okay with it. Will Austin says, I'm applying for departments in December and graduate from college in May. Any advice? Go start applying for jobs. Go apply now. Because it takes years to get on lists and then to get the job. Russian T says, where did you learn to public speak so professionally? No stutters, etc. Private school. I went to a private school called St. Lawrence High School. It's in Burbank, Illinois. Went to school there. We had these people called teachers, and they were more interested in teaching things than they were in political discourse and drawing people to one opinion or the other. It was a very interesting experience, especially when I went to community college afterward and learned that I had to have the right opinion to get good grades. It was a very big culture shock for me. But oddly enough, if you go to private school, they teach you things that will actually help you in your day-to-day life. And so I learned to talk to people and how to speak publicly. The first time I spoke publicly was sophomore year of high school, and I won the debate competition which was like mandatory. Every sophomore had to be part of it. And then I won I think I got second place in the speech competition, and it was arguing against gun control in Cook County, Illinois. That's how open-minded they were about what you spoke about, as long as you were good at the assignment. Totally foreign idea in college today, but at the time it was normal, so that's where I learned. And doing this, if you look back at original videos, a lot more editing, a lot more ums, ahs, things like that. I've gotten better with it over time from doing this. It's been a few years now doing this. Question says, Tommy, where's your plate carrier? You should know you aren't genuine police YouTuber without it. You know, that is a good point. Hold on. Let me see. I got to have one around here somewhere. Where's the plate carrier at? Oh, there it is. There we go. Hold on. Oh. Do I put this contraption, do I put it over my vest, over my jacket, or here, we'll just, there we go. Oh yeah. Let the guts stick out from underneath the plate carrier. That means you're really hard. Let's see, what else we got? Oh, I can barely reach the screen. Ray Jones says, what websites or places do you go to keep up to date with case law? So Police One does a fairly good job of making a big deal out of case law. So normally if they do an article on case law, I know that I need to look up the actual case law. I don't generally actually read the article about it, because normally that's just some sergeant or lieutenant of police department's opinion on what the case law means for law enforcement. What I'll do is I'll go find that piece of case law, and then I will read the abstract on it and the actual decision by the judges. And if you catch me on a really good day, I will read the dissenting opinion of the judges who didn't agree with the prevailing opinion on the case, because sometimes you can learn things from the dissenting opinion and the way courts might sway in the future that keep you from getting in trouble when people decide ex post facto law doesn't apply to law enforcement. Animal Suffian says, do you think security guards should be armed? I think that there's definitely a place in the marketplace for armed security, but I don't think that all security needs to be armed. A lot of people like to say security, an unarmed security isn't security at all. Well, that's not entirely true. Even in the U.S., where there is a propensity for firearms to be out there, there is a very, very large bottom of the market. And a lot of what security does is just having one person that's designated to do a portion of the job of the manager, which is to watch what other people are doing and make sure nobody robs them blind. A lot of it is just being a presence. It's just having somebody at the job site. And I've had those jobs before. When I was in college, I was a camp ranger. I've talked about this on the channel a couple times, which basically meant you were just the dude who hung out at the campground when no one was there to make sure that nobody stole the tractor or burnt the place down. It was more like a groundskeeper job. And a lot of security is just that. It's just having someone there, especially night watchman jobs. There's lots of night watchman jobs out there that it's just having someone who's a quasi, professional adult person who can make a 911 call if they have to at a site. And I don't think that it necessarily needs to incur all of the liability of having someone with a firearm in order to have a person in a uniform with a flashlight and a radio hanging out at a job site, making sure nobody steals the knack boxes. And if they do, to call 911. I don't necessarily think that requires a security guard to be armed. But I think market forces decide where that line should be drawn and where it is drawn. So I leave that up to individual companies that are making those individual private transactions. I don't think it's necessary for all security to be armed, though. I'm sure we're going to get some angry comments off that. So people are asking about Canadian law enforcement and getting jobs in Canada. I don't know. I'm not a cop in Canada, and I don't know anything about Canada's rules about law enforcement. And I pride myself on one thing around here. If I know about it, I will talk about it. If I don't know about it, I don't talk about it. And if I find out I thought I knew about it and I said some stuff and it was wrong, I take it down later. So I will tell you up front, and I'm not ashamed to tell you up front, I don't know anything about how to get the job in Canada. how to become a cop there. So I won't give you advice that might be wrong. Strange, I know. I'm sorry, I gotta take this thing off. It adds like 4 inches to my chest, and my chest is big enough as it is. Oh, that's better. Classified agent says, have you encountered a knife-wielding person without guns? I did. It was a little scary. Well, I was a camp ranger at a scout camp, but most of the scouts, they all had knives, but nobody was wielding them at anything except wood. And if they were wielding them at anything except wood, yelling things like, "What the hell are you doing?" would normally stop them from doing anything stupid. It's weird when you have normal, sane, rational people. If they make a mistake, oftentimes you can stop them just by yelling at them. We call that something. It's officer presence. Hey, that would be a good video in the future. Let's scroll down on Instagram for a little bit. So Hayden M. Porter 54 says, I'm left-handed, and he's asking about getting a job as a police officer or U.S. Marshal. She trained with his right hand or his left hand. You just train left-handed, man. There's no difference there from everything else. This isn't Catholic school. You don't have to be right-handed. I know that from experience going to Catholic school. Psalm 132 says, have you seen an Inforce Wild 2 gun light? No. I haven't used a lot of Inforce lights. A couple of guys at work had them. One of them broke. That's all I know about them. I'm not saying they all break. I'm just saying one guy had, or I think 2 guys had them at work on their pistols. One of them broke. Like the lens popped off of it. That was a long time ago. I don't know if they have new models, if they're better now. I won't give you experiential stuff other than what I have. Caveat, very little experience with them. Boy CA says, is being tased tolerable pain? Now, I have a whole video on YouTube about me getting tased and what it felt like. There's a video of me getting tased where we're testing a vest to see if it's resistant to tasers, as the manufacturer implied. And also me getting tased in the beginning as a control, because everybody likes seeing people get tased. And there's a whole video directly after that. And I think I titled it something like, I was tased, what's it like? Go watch that. We have a long, protracted discussion about being tased and what it feels like. RJ Joshua says, thoughts on Los Angeles just approving unarmed people to respond to nonviolent incidents? We have those currently. They're called paramedics and firefighters. They come with their own command staff and lots of trucks and equipment. And hopefully these new people that they have in California also come with commensurate skill levels and equipment that they're going to apply to the problems, which will make up for the fact that they're unarmed. We'll see. Here's a very common question that we get a lot. Gracie's Daddy 3113 says, I know security and law enforcement are very different, but would security experience help you get a job in law enforcement? No. Now, the short answer is no. Security experience is not going to help you get into law enforcement. It doesn't mean a whole lot to anybody at a police department that you work security. There are some examples of circumstances where that is not true. Let me go over them now. If you're currently working as a security manager for a large Fortune 500 company, let's say you're the security manager at UPS, and you're going to get a job working for the FBI. I could see where that would be something that would kind of be a little feather in your cap when you're going for an interview. You could say, hey, I've done investigations before. If you're going into a law enforcement job and your prior security gig was working as a canine security for a railroad or for Disney or some other large organization that's well respected out in the world, if you were a private security contractor, not you do security and you have contracts, but you are a private security contractor for the DoD or some other government entity, that could have an effect on your ability to get a job in law enforcement. If you are asking if being the security guard at a shopping mall is going to get you a job in law enforcement, no, it is not. I know people are not going to like hearing that, but that is the truth. Hayden Porter 54 says opinion on Patty Mayo. Patty Mayo is not a cop. As far as I know, he's never been a cop. You are watching a TV show about on the level of watching Reno 911. As such, it can be entertaining for some people. I think it's unfortunate that a lot of people think Patty Mayo is actually a police officer or ever was. And so they think that the way he acts is the way law enforcement acts or should be done, which is wrong. Officer Airsoft says, what's your thoughts on bail enforcement, and do you work with them often? We don't. Here in Illinois, there is no bounty hunting, bail enforcement, any of that stuff. It's all handled by the government. Doesn't always work out really well, but it's handled by the government. Other states have bounty hunters, bail enforcement, that type of thing. The limits of my experience with them on the street would be every once in a while you'll get somebody that'll call because I'm really close to the border with Indiana. They'll call and say, "Hey, one of our skips is at XYZ location, and we would love if you go pick him up." And we've never successfully accomplished that for them, but happy to come out and take a look. My only other experience with them is like meeting people, like Scott from Bounty Hunter Boot Camp at trade shows, like SHOT Show. I've met several people that do bounty hunting there. They all seem like fairly affable fellows, but I don't have any professional experience with them really, because we don't have them here in Illinois. Go back to YouTube a little bit. Elite Gamer HD says, have you ever pulled out your gun out of your holster while on duty? Yeah. Yesterday. And most days before that. So I don't work in a nice place. I mean, it's not a terrible place. It's not the worst place, but it's definitely not like working at the airport where, the CBP guys have the story about, hey, this one time I pulled my gun out. Oh, cool story. No, it's out quite frequently. People talking about getting the boxes. Brush Some Teeth says, what meals you prepare to eat on duty? Leah, show us some recipes. You take $15 and you put it in your vest cover in the little slat pocket. Then you take it out. You take it to the local greasy spoon. You get yourself €1, right? Take the money that's left over, some coffee. Normally save a little money. Non-pandemic days, you save a little money by bringing your own cup. I'm telling you. That's how you meal prep. All right, so people think I'm weird, but every week I buy 2 bags of apples and the pre-cooked chicken strips. Not the fried chicken strips, but like grilled chicken strips, romaine lettuce, and raspberry vinaigrette. And so I alternate between having a protein bar and eating a couple apples at work and having a salad and throwing a couple apples in with the salad, which I assume if I'm at work and eating well, that makes up for the crap food that I eat pretty much the rest of the time in my life, because it's not just the police schedule that screws me up, but then the kids and the wife that are constantly doing stuff all over the place where we very rarely have meals at home. But I meal prep when I can, and normally it's either going to be leftovers from the night before, if it's something that's fairly healthy, like we did white chicken chili the other night. Took some of that to work. That's delicious. Or salad or apples or protein bars. Have I ever been shot at? Yeah. Yes, I have. Oh, good times. Yeah, you guys are going to give me trauma just rethinking about this stuff. So CS Moto says, I need advice struggling with online school. I want to just jump into the police world. Do you think having an associate's degree in CJ from a community college is really beneficial? Yes. It's going to open a lot more doors up. Depending on what state you're in, it's going to open a lot more doors up than not having an associate's degree. Mikhail Stefanak says, I know I missed it, but did he sip from his thermos? because it ain't a free field training video if you didn't. Here you go. Feel better? I also wore the stupid plate carrier. Mr. Ruby says, honestly, schools in high-end suburbs are just as good as private school. Sure they are, buddy. Sure they are. Let me tell you, after my freshman year in college, I never bought the books again. I don't know. It costs a lot of money. Private school is very, very expensive. I hope to be able to afford it for my kids when they're in high school, but I don't know if I'll be able to. Hopefully I get to one of those high-end suburbs at least where I can send them to school, and we keep on them. And if you keep on them and you send them to a decent school, hopefully they come out all right. But I have to admit, going to a private high school is like a huge benefit in your life. Like, you don't know how many jobs I got when I was in college. I would walk in and be like, oh, I hear you guys are hiring. Oh, yeah. Where do you go to high school? St. Lawrence? What year are you? Junior? You're hired. Get over here. Money talks, man. I don't know what to tell you. AJ Martinez says, can you recall a moment from your FTO training, like when I was in field training, as a rook, where you look back and laugh at it now? Oh, yeah, all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. And then I also had some experiences that I remember and I look back at and smile because it was like, that was the first time that I got it. Like, to this day, I remember the first time that I got it. So I remember my first day on the job, guy that later became a pretty good friend of mine, named Al, was my first phase FTO. And Al's thing, which I have stolen from him, we might make a video about in the future just in it, is he would take all the new people and he would take them out to state line on their first day on the job, and he would introduce them to hookers. So my first day on the job, I met hookers and had to run their names and search their purses. And I was terrified, which is the funniest thing now, because I became, I wouldn't say friends, but like work associates with lots of the hookers in my town. And most of them were relatively harmless on their own, you know, and they, at the time they were laughing. They're like, he's scared of us. And he was like, yeah, he's from a nice area. We're working on him. Don't worry about it. Just give me your name, right? And then I find myself 15 years later taking new guys straight out to meet the hookers the first day on the job, and like having to like pull up on the hooker and be like, all right, put your hands up on the car. What's okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, you're training somebody. Okay, hold on. Let me can I get my purse off first? Okay, don't shoot me. Listen, there you go. There's the purse. Just tell the kid to put the gun away. I'm not gonna hurt you. Just leave the purse there. Listen, my crack pipe's at the bottom. Just leave it alone. And then that same week was the first time that I like got it. Right, went to a call. It was a pretty violent one. Like somebody was all cut up. And I asked the victim of the crime, because we didn't have the offender in custody. They weren't on scene. We didn't think they were on scene at the time. It was like my first investigative, like I got it a little bit in my head. I asked her, where's the person who did this, the guy that did this, where's his car? And she was, oh, it's right there. It's that red car. And I ran the plate, and it came back with his name and his driver's license and address and all of that. And my FTO at the time, Al, was like, dude, that's a good idea. I didn't even think of that. That's a smart thing to ask. You really got that. And it was like, that was the first time that police work like clicked in my head, like what an investigation actually was, because I came out of the academy not really knowing what was going on. And I'd never seen anybody do that before. It's just something I thought. I was like, well, if she knows what his car is, then we got his name, right? Let's do that. Let's try that. And a lot with police work and investigations is just seeing something and be like, what can we do? We have this resource. We have this resource. We have this resource. What information can I feed into this to get out information that I can use? And I use things like that all the time. Mike Keeney says, with prosecutors going after cops for political gain these days, why would anyone want to stay in law enforcement or even consider getting into it? So there's two types of people that get into police work. One is like me, and they're in it for the fun, right? You can talk about serving your community and how great that is all you want, but at the end of the day, you're in it for the excitement. It's a good job. It's exciting. It's interesting. It's never different. Every day is a new adventure. Even the slow days, every day is a new adventure. You see something new, you do something new. You get into a rough area, it's every day is a roller coaster ride. And that's what I love about my job. And the other people that get into it are people that get into it because it's a good, stable job. It's a government job. It's a government job where it's not going anywhere, where if your paycheck bounces this week, you know next week you're going to get the money. It's just like working at the post office. But for people who don't want to have to walk around all day and deliver mail or do actual work. So you get a healthy mix of those two groups of people. And it's been like that since the beginning of the time, and it's probably going to stay like that for the next 100 years. Wyatt Smith says, I'm doing a simulated police chase for a PFT. No idea what a PFT is this weekend. Any words of wisdom? If it's some sort of scenario-based training, just if it's a car chase or even if it's a foot chase, don't get tunnel vision. Don't just look at what's in front of you. Get the eyes around, start scanning so you can see what's going on. We're going to go back to Instagram here for a second. Can't have my address says my school has 3 SROs, so school resource officers, and like 20 unarmed security guards. Well, that's good. That means people are using all of the different resources that are available. So you can have 20 sets of eyes and then 3 people to respond to any problem that you have. Not a bad plan. RJ Joshua says, my department turned down visible tattoos while on duty. If I'm Polynesian and tattoos being cultural, couldn't that be discrimination? It could be. It could be. You'd have to go speak to an attorney about that. That could be a discrimination suit, but I'm not an attorney. I can't tell you. Can't have my address says the unarmed security at my school is trash. Their only job is to make sure the kids don't escape. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I would expect their job to be. Anthony 12 says, does Illinois have animal control officers? If so, what animal related calls have you responded to? People get bit all the time. We respond to those. Animals getting loose, people that can't seem to manage to keep their pit bull in their house, those types of things. You get the litter of kittens that somebody finds under their porch. You got to go pick them up and take them to animal control, that type of stuff. Just in 0323 says, ever think about being undercover? Being on YouTube would kind of kill the whole idea of being undercover, I would think. I have done an undercover job at the department. It's not that exciting. I was pretending to be a power line worker, like a ComEd worker, in order to try to catch auto thieves. Super just riveting stuff sitting in a truck for 12 hours watching a parking lot. It's not there's lots of jobs in law enforcement that sound a lot nicer than they really are in real life. Let's go back to YouTube for a little bit. Brush and T says, when did regular patrol officers start to equip SWAT-style equipment? Most of it isn't SWAT style, such as long guns, plate carriers, and tactical helmets. Okay, so that came out probably before you were born. When you started having school shootings, right? So that, as usual, is the normal reason for those responses. So most of the times, the long guns, it was school shootings really started making that take off. People were very worried about that, and you get somebody in a school that's intent on doing harm, and you need somebody there. The guys going in there have to have rifles. There's just no two ways about it. Because someone that's set up in a room with a handgun, you're not gonna easily root them out by patrolmen with handguns. And remember, most patrolmen are not like CQB experts. You're gonna need some advantages there, and rifles are that advantage. Plate carriers It's just that's just safety equipment. That's just like using safety glass in a car or putting safety glasses on when you go to the range. That's not SWAT style equipment. That's just safety gear. I mean, that's the same thing as hiding behind a brick wall, except you can carry it around. People who like wearing these things day in and day out, I think, are they just like the punishment of it, especially with ceramic plates. They're pretty heavy, and they don't provide a whole lot of surface area protection for someone who's a little more portly like me and most cops and security guards. But this is not SWAT style equipment. SWAT didn't start wearing plate carriers really exclusively until the war on terror started going nuts, and everybody's like, "We got to be like Navy SEALs, just wear a plate carrier." Before that, they're mostly wearing like when I was in, they were mostly wearing vests with arm guards and dick flaps and plates in them. And then helmets. Helmets are something you wear when there's a risk of explosion. So if there's a risk somebody's going to be detonating pipe bombs off, or you're going to have rounds skipping all over the place, that's where you wear a helmet. Which is why patrol officers in the United States, just like your average guy getting in a car going out on patrol, we don't wear helmets. Because the likelihood I'm going to run into explosives going off is pretty low. We wear soft body armor because the likelihood that I'm going to run into somebody with a handgun shooting at me, especially where I'm at, is fairly high. Diego Armigo says, what do you think about UK police being unarmed? I've answered this many times before. I don't care. I don't live in the UK. They seem to like it. Their like version of their police unions. They talk to their people all the time, and most cops in the UK would prefer that most cops stay unarmed. And I'd say that's an issue. That's a them issue. That's a you issue, not a me issue. I don't care. You can be unarmed if you want to be. Aiden Cruz says, can I have a shout out, please? Aiden Cruz, that's all I got. I don't really know how shout outs work. Sorry, I'm a middle-aged ghetto cop. Magic Man says, how do you and people tonight feel about patrol cars and fire engines having "In God We Trust" and gold leaf on them? We have a number of non-Judeo-Christian religions, people moving into our tourism area. Okay, well, printed out our money. That's okay. So here's the thing. I don't care one way or the other. I tell people all the time, there's a finite number of things that I can care about. And somebody that wants to write "In God We Trust" on the side of the police car, I don't care as long as that car runs and the brakes run. Like, as long as it brakes and it goes, and in the winter it has heat, and in the summer it has air conditioning, I don't care what you print on the outside of it. I've said for a long time, listen, we don't want pursuits anymore. You don't want us to chase criminals anymore? Fine. Just heat gun police off, put security on there. As long as it pays the same, I don't care. Right? We're still going to be doing the same job. Just, I don't care what's written on the outside of the car. I know this is a huge political issue for people. I try to stay out of political issues on the channel because this isn't a political channel. If you want a political channel, you could go, I could suggest like Louder with Crowder. Very interesting political channel for you. Anonymous Man says, are you part of a police union? Yes, I'm in the Fraternal Order of Police. Do you feel unions benefit officers? It benefits us with higher pay in the area that I'm at, given the laws that Illinois has. Also, I don't have a choice. So I have to be part of the union. So it's kind of a moot point for me. Aiden Cruz says, can you show your gun? No, I can't because it violates YouTube's policies. And we're live streaming on YouTube here. Mikhail Stefaniak says, what are ways in which you think will make the lulls in third shift, I'm assuming you're meaning midnights, not boring? And then we're going to have to wrap this up. So you ever watch Reno 911? And they have like a point value for different things that they can find or arrests that they can make. Sometimes things like that, like I wouldn't take it that far, but sometimes things like that can make the job interesting. We've had bosses that have had informal competitions between the guys. There we go. Now we're live again. Sorry about that. So we had a boss. We were doing a competition for early car. Who was going to get it? And the boss said, well, whoever can write the most handicap parking tickets this week can have the early car spot. And for whatever reason, everybody wanted to be early car because early car comes in an hour early and leaves an hour early, which means they've got the whole shift covering for them, so they always leave on time. Something the old guys generally like. I generally don't. Even though now I guess I'm one of the old guys from what I've noticed at my PD. So I think we're going to have to call it there. I'm sorry about the bad connections on YouTube and Instagram here. If you guys have any other questions, I'm going to try to do a live stream on Instagram really quick. Again, the Expert Witness book. I'll try to put an Amazon link down in the description if I remember tomorrow. Until 20 minutes from now, you guys be safe and take care of each other.